This Thursday Night Football props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride. Yes, sir.
You like that? Long Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Hold on.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Hello, Sean.
What's happening?
Very important day in America's history.
Yes, you're talking about Maction. Maction is back, baby.
Yes,
it was
all stayed on a national stage.
Yeah, it was nice to have other stuff to watch besides the election. So congrats if your team won the election. Congrats if you're upset. Sorry to hear that.
Maybe a bad beat. We'll have to take it to the judge.
Maybe a bad beat. Yeah, we'll see, Ryan. We are going to bring back the bad beat judge for the VSiN show, but
that would we absolutely actually we should bring it back just for the election.
See if we get some election bad beat judges.
Piss people off.
Bitcoin pumping right now. Shout out to Bitcoin. But yeah, we're here. We're going to be talking Thursday Night Props. We're going to be joined by Terrell here just a few moments. But lost, Ryan. Probably if you're on social media, maybe you were you're following the election. Maybe you didn't see the beautiful piece of content that we put out. Now, little backstory on this piece of content. CJ came out after doing his show. Shout out to CJ, Bottom Line Bombs, out of the studio. And he goes, hey, you know what we need to do? We need, instead of the I voted sticker, we need the I wagered sticker. And apparently
creative force, CJ Sullivan.
Well, apparently it was from one of his viewers in the chat, a C-generate, Ron_Pasco, Pasco on X. So I heard about this. I'm like, yeah, I will send this over to Jake. We'll get this whipped up. And here we go. The I wager today. You probably, it was everywhere. And a lot of people are picking it up. Now, shout out to Las Vegas locally, a really big local Las Vegas influencer account. They tagged us. A lot of people are retweeting it, resharing it, tagging us. But then, Ryan, there were some people that were sharing the I wagered sticker without crediting the source, which in this case was us, but it was Ron's idea passed to us via CJ. Yes. And actually the Photoshop was done by Jake. So
executed by Jake.
We just basically gave it the thumbs up and watched the content machine do the business, but going viral for this sticker. And then you were going after people who are not crediting us for the I wager.
Well, once again, CJ was the ghostwriter. He's like, you got to use stop the steal.
Yes.
So basically, just replied to people, stop the steal, with a link to the our account, posting it at like 5 a.m. Pacific time. So most people did actually respond.
Yeah.
It seemed I flustered one female content creator in the space who works for ESPN. It was great. I mean, I would say this. I was shocked by how many large accounts in the sports betting space just stole it.
Yeah.
No credit. And shout out to Vegas locally. That's you want to talk about why it's
Class
good to
act.
know Derek?
Yeah. Class act organization.
You hang with Derek, you meet some of these guys, we met the guy who runs that account.
Oh, get behind the scenes.
So, we're good people.
And speaking of Derek Ryan, we are our bonus episode is going to be us and the love affair with Circa. We're going to break down. Listener asked like, "Hey, what's the history with Circa? We have some fun stories. We have some fun Derek stories, like how we got linked up with them in the beginning. I think is pretty interesting.
I'll tell you how it happened.
Tours of the facility while they were building it.
Sean, as you know, I show almost everyone.
Oh yeah,
these pictures of us getting the tour early on, and one of the last people I showed, it was like, this would be a great Patreon episode.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, all right, mental note, that's a great idea. Yeah, basically us doing a slideshow.
Yeah, and
of us hanging out with Derek.
Yeah, and some clips from Derek's first interview on the show.
Oh, I think I'm gonna pull a little clip from each time he came on the show.
There's a bunch, and then that kind of led into VSiN and things blowing up in general. So that's going to be a fun journey. And shout out to everyone. I feel like I keep running into listeners and viewers of the podcast of the VSiN show at Circa. And again, good place to come say hi. We're there every Friday, 8 to 11 p.m. on the West Coast. I mean, you got to pay homage to the Mecca anyway if you're a sports gambler, but then perfect time to say hi after the show. I feel like we're always either hanging out near the slot machine or Vegas Vicky's is a good hang, but sometimes make it up to the bar up top.
If you are playing the NFL slot between 11:30 and 1 a.m.
there's a good chance
on a Friday, you'll 100% run into me.
Yeah, we were hanging out with CJ Hannibal Burris, who CJ was doing a show with, filling out some teaser cards. I think Hannibal was maybe shooting some craps. It was that was the most
Vegas night we've had after a show in a while.
Yeah,
I mean, we were hanging out. We went from Vicky's, hanging out with Derek and the crew that had just gotten back from the Boise State game. We then went up to the secret bar, which is the bar that they open up in the high limit area.
We'll tell you how to get in the secret bar.
And then we end up, then CJ rolls in late. Yeah. And then I went to bed, came back down to bet more on the Cardinals.
Yeah. Right. It's like, I couldn't sleep. I had to bet more on the Cardinals.
And late night. And then right to Disneyland. Who can forget my weekend last weekend?
It was a wild trip.
Not me.
And not only, Ryan, are we influencers in the gambling space, but got an email from a company, Fioboc, FIOBOC, and they hit me up, hit us up, and we're like, hey, we know that you are a sweatpant connoisseur. We know you're I'm apparently, Ryan, we're sweatpants influencers because they hit us up. They sent us, and I'll see how much I can actually show off.
You want to get?
I mean, these are. There you go. Look at these.
Like, did you get the banana? You got to make sure.
I didn't do the fake.
What's the bit you guys do on get to the points?
Yeah, I didn't put in the
dick outlines.
I didn't do the fake dick outline, but these are on Kramer. You're usually a tough guy to please, but these sweatpants are amazing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Look at those.
Look at this mobility over here.
Awesome joggers.
You want to see how my ass looks in it, Sean?
Sure. Awesome joggers. Great zippers. Great pockets.
Here's what my review of these would be, and I'm very picky on the sweatpant jogger game. Zippers aren't mandatory, but it's nice to have. They often fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because they'll have the zipper like hang out. This one kind of tucks in, doesn't really cause any problems. Another thing that sweatpants sometimes make the mistake of: back pockets. Don't give me a back pocket. I'm gonna use it and lose something. No back pockets in this thing.
And Ryan,
last thing,
yes,
very breathable. So breathable. Air flows through. I was watching my daughter play soccer. Did not get hot. Sometimes this material will get hot. No sort of ball sweat or any of that stuff. So
lock it in. Amazing sweatpants. Number one in my power rankings right now for sweatpants and this sweet quarter zip. So FIOBOC promo code SGPN20. They have a bunch of deals going. They'll hook you up. FIOBOC.com. Promo code SGPN20. Joining us on the line, Ryan, to talk all things Thursday Night Football. You know, from the NBA Gambling Podcast, the WNBA Gambling Podcast, Mr. Terrell Furman, the villain himself. What's happening, Terrell?
Oh, I am here, sad to say, that I did not utilize my right to wager today. I was in mourning. I was very, very opposed because the NBA decided that they are no
No
longer going to have
games.
games, and I understand the reasoning why, but I invoke my right to oppose, and so because the NBA did not have any games, I did not invoke my right to wager, so I was not able to post the I wagered sticker.
This is the dumbest idea the NBA's ever had. Just turn your stadiums into voting centers. I mean, how ridiculous!
That's a great idea.
You show up with your ticket to the game and your vote. It's like this is the easiest thing I've ever heard. I mean, look, I got the sticker right here, which by the way, didn't tell the story, but the old lady at the voting place, she definitely did a couple extra rubs on my pectoral muscle as she was applying.
Ryan goes, I was sexually harassed.
In the past, I've just been handed the sticker to put on myself.
Yeah. Well,
this felt a little bit like I was on Fremont.
Come here, hunk.
Are there
I'm gonna put my sticker on you.
This is America. What are we doing?
Yeah, I saw a dog with the guy that was.
I can only imagine some old lady caressing his back.
Old ladies like me. No, it's not. I'm not trying to flex or anything.
They want to give you. They want to feed you like spaghetti and meatballs, right?
Sean, did you invoke your right to bet or to wager?
Yes, I did. I bet Arizona State on college basketball because the TCE crew all locked it.
Did
up.
we really?
Or 3 out of 4, and then of course they lost. So you can throw them under the bus.
So I was gonna say I also was on them just because we're obviously we're obviously Arizona State forks up since we visited there. So I just blindly was like, screw Idaho State and basketball. What do I? Although I'm on a cooler, so I would fade me in basketball right now.
Yeah, not off to a great start college basketball. I did okay first episode, but we'll get it sorted. Terrell, good to hear from you. How's your NFL season treating you? What's any big winners, big losers? Where are you at?
Oh, I mean, the New York Giants just continue to make me a winner over the course of the season, while also making me hate the team more and more slightly. We go through the trade deadline, and Azeez Ojulari not traded today, which is good and bad. Good for those that listen to the SGPN New York Giants future and got that New York Giants sacks to lead the league in sacks 51. Shout out to everybody that did get that, but also horrible because now he's going to walk in free agency, and we're going to get nothing.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. I think him and Slayton will be back on good deals.
I'm telling you right now, we're not gonna beat whatever Atlanta is offering. Like we're not gonna be able to beat it.
Maybe he gets a huge bag.
And he's a Georgia guy. He's a Georgia guy. Atlanta's gonna offer him everything.
Maybe he goes and plays with his brother down in Arizona.
A bunch of big trades did happen, including obviously Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders. That's not super exciting as a Eagles fan.
So the Commanders are the best team in the division now.
Oh, we'll see. I mean, we play them coming up here in a couple weeks. We got the Cowboys
Mike
first,
Evans
and then
will be here soon.
Well, that clip that you shared of it was like an anime video where a guy showed up at a funeral. Yeah, it was, and he was like upset that this guy had passed away because he wanted to beat him up, and that was Mike Evans. With Lattimore getting traded out of the NFC South, like he never had that chance to beat him, so he's got to be kicking himself.
Yeah, that it is so funny because that guy never beat him, like ever. No. His name is Kurabara. He never beat Yusuke, and it's just like Mike Evans could never beat Marshawn Lattimore, and he's pissed because now he lost the opportunity, and he realized that dang, we played them the first game of the season, so I don't even get the chance again. It's ruined.
But the highlight though was Dallas Cowboys trading a what was that 4th rounder for Jonathan Mingo,
loading up for a playoff run down there, Jerry.
In the same day, how do you put Dak on IR and trade for Jonathan Mingo?
4th round pick.
4th round pick. I mean, I guess they liked him in the draft, but Jonathan Mingo is not worth a 4th round pick. What are you doing?
Even if he is, Sean,
he has 12 catches this season.
Even if he is, why are the Cowboys acquiring
what are the Cowboys
assets?
Super Bowl odds now? Jonathan Mingo and post Jonathan Mingo.
Did Mingo swing the Cowboys Super Bowl odds? Ryan, guess how many career touchdowns Jonathan Mingo has?
0.
Yes. Why would you give him a 4th rounder for him?
Because you like the athletic profile. I don't know. He couldn't get open.
No.
I mean,
I
no
guess you talk yourself into the fact that Bryce Young was his quarterback, but yeah, those are the I guess kind of the most interesting ones. Rams sending Ravens Tre'Davious White, which and Khalil Herbert both will be. I don't know. Do you think Khalil Herbert or Tre'Davious White play in this game, Ryan? Usually it's like tough to get it on a Sunday, but if you're traded midweek for a Thursday game, do you think we see Tre'Davious White on the Ravens or Khalil Herbert on the Bengals?
No,
I don't think so. Yeah. Cause they usually need like a couple days to pass a physical.
I mean, you got to go through a week of install. Like it's one thing, maybe the running back could maybe get some stuff, get a couple packages in there, but yeah, it seems less likely.
Yeah, that I mean it'll be. Khalil Herbert is kind of interesting. I think in that offense, dude runs hard.
That was kind of confusing too, if I'm being honest.
Really?
I mean, I like it for him, but it's like, all right, is that what you guys think? Yeah, maybe. So, what team surprised you the most outside of the Cowboys that acquired players?
That actually wasn't surprising at all.
Yeah,
I knew the Cowboys were going to do something stupid. That was guaranteed.
Jerry got. It was the classic, like, people are making fun of me. They're not saying I'm all in. I got to show them all in.
I will get Jonathan
Phone the
Mingo.
Panthers. They're giving away players.
Someone was like, holy shit, did the Carolina Panthers win a trade? Because this must be their first trade they won. I mean, they took the biggest L of all time with, I mean, luckily for them, the Deshaun Watson trade is out there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I think that Deshaun Watson because of the money involved, but yeah, I guess because you lose Caleb Williams and you're stuck with Bryce Young,
which was more detrimental to a franchise. They still made the playoffs in spite of that. I mean,
it's true.
What happened with Bryce Young set back the Panthers a decade.
Yeah, it's you have Bryce Young.
Is still a Panther. He should not be a Panther anymore.
It's you have Bryce Young and you didn't get Caleb Williams. The twofer probably makes it pretty bad there. All right, let's talk some Thursday night props. You are the guest, Terrell. What's one prop you like here on the slate?
All right, well, kick it off with the guy who had a big game last week, Chase Brown. And ironically, I traded for him before that game in fantasy last week. I know Ryan doesn't care. I know Ryan doesn't care.
Fantasy
look at me.
But yeah, no. So the Ravens really bad guarding the running back in the passing game. And they've given up this passing line in 6 of the 9 games they played this season. Chase Brown gotten a lot of attempts, but this is really, really more of Zach Moss is no longer a part of this offense with the injury. And I don't think Khalil Herbert, like you said, is walking in and taking a big role. No. It's looking like we're not going to see any more T. Higgins. So he's really limited on his passing game options that he trusts here. And he got five catches last week. I think he can get over 23.5 yards. So I really like Chase Brown to go ahead and get it done in the passing game.
Yeah, that was I think that's on the rhythm list of props they like for Thursday night. Almost fired on that one. I'm going with this one. Speaking of trade, they just traded for Diontae Johnson. Last week he only played 30% of the snaps. Imagine they're easing him into the offense, but you don't trade for a guy and not give him the ball. And he actually, as bad as the chemistry was with Bryce Young, he had some breakout games. I think he's going to be motivated. I think this is like the first week he's actually going to be running like a somewhat full route tree. Bengals aren't amazing against the receiver. No Isaiah Likely, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, throughout here. Isaiah Likely's doubtful. Well, he's not going to play.
Okay, yeah. I was just making sure.
I don't think he's going to play. So
Is he officially doubtful?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going off of Sebastian, aka the SGP.
I saw that. I know that he's missed both practices. I don't know if he's officially been given a designation yet.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
All right.
Let's see. Isaiah Likely. Yeah, I don't see. Maybe they haven't no official designation yet, but
he's not likely out. If I may.
Yeah. So Degen Doc saying likely out for the season with a neck injury. So I'm going to say I'm going to grade him as not playing. I think it's going to create some opportunities for Diontae Johnson over 21.5 receiving yards. That to me feels really low. As Zay Flowers just ate up that Denver Broncos defense, I think he'll still get his. It's clear they don't want Bateman as a big part of the offense, hence the trade. So
you think so?
Well, why do you trade
Or
for
the
Diontae
wide
Johnson?
open drop, or the wide open
Yeah.
drop at the end of the game on third down.
Well, I think for one, like they don't strike me as the same kind of receiver.
Okay, but I think if they were very happy with Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, then you don't need to trade for Diontae Johnson.
No, I agree, and I would say I'm also I'm intrigued by Deontay. Well, because they're so low. It's a ladder kind of thing. Because in a weird way, he's just like Zay Flowers to me. He's an elite route runner that's constantly open in small spaces, which is exactly perfect for this offense.
No, and certainly if you watch the previous time they played in Cincinnati, that game ended up being what 41-38, just like an insane back and forth shootout. Which you always think AFC North football, it's like going to be smash mouth, grind it out. But I think Diontae Johnson at 21.5. We'll talk about the ladders. I think that's certainly in play for him as well.
Well, so then let's because this really has had no effect on Rashad Bateman's props.
Yeah.
So to your point on the likely, maybe they're just moving the projection from likely to Deontay Johnson. That's how they're getting to this number, but it's very, very low. Because if he's getting utilized, which if you read what people are saying, he's definitely going to be part of the game. I don't know if he's going to be out there like 60-70%, but you only need a couple catches.
Yeah. To get to 21.5, his path is pretty realistic. Yeah. No, he's got some deep playability too.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's perfect for this offense. Anyway, all right, we're going back to Mike Gesicki. Well, just look at what the look what they've done against the look.
I was very high on Mike Gesicki coming into the season, right?
And I was very high on Jonnu Smith. They're both having good years. We were both right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you reminding everyone how we were both right about a deep.
I didn't say you were wrong.
Very anti Jonnu. You're like, oh, Jonnu Smith. Fuck you. Not even close. Mike Gesicki. I wasn't.
Well,
even,
I
wasn't even anti Mike
Gesicki. The bickering that goes on.
You just brought it. You brought it to my. All right.
I had to bring up the Mike Gesicki take. Yeah, come on.
Mike Gesicki, his receiving yards prop has gone way up. It's 47.5. But what's the status on T Higgins? How we feeling about?
Yeah, also another doubt.
How we feeling about T Higgins? Is this his response to not getting a contract? Is that where we're at?
I don't
think
so.
Embiid style. We're just.
I mean, it is a quad. So if you were gonna fake an injury, this is the one you would fake. But
Devontae Adams hamstring.
Yeah, I don't get that vibe. Usually, if it is them doing it, that stuff kind of leaks out because they want them to renegotiate it. And the Bengals owner has made it pretty clear he doesn't give a fuck. So you can try and hold out. Jamar Chase tried to hold out. Good luck. Like, I just don't pay people. I'm a tightwad. So I don't think it's that. But I don't think he plays either.
Anyway, yeah. So anyway, the point I'm making is his yardage prop has gone from consistently in the low to mid 20s to 47.5.
And you're still in the over.
No, we're talking about he's going to have a big game, but why not just play the anytime?
Yeah.
These anytime touchdowns for these tight ends, they're not making sense. So plus 240. That's the move.
Yeah. Like it.
He's obviously a big, like they've obviously just slotted him in to the T Higgins role.
Yeah. No, he was running some slot stuff for sure.
And the anytimes have been good for me on the prop show. So,
oh yeah. I guess, and K Dot almost got 2. We were all over K Dot and those K Dot and angles. That was easy money. Terrell, what's another prop you like here?
Well, I'll follow up the tight end touchdowns because Eric All out for the season. Very disappointing.
Even another reason to like Gesicki. Now All hadn't been racking up touchdowns, but another reason to probably like Gesicki.
They loved his blocking.
Yeah, they did. But he always got like 2 or 3 catches. He's done for the season, but yeah, what do you think that means for the rest of the Bengals tight ends?
Well, there's only one other tight end that led this room in snaps last week, And that's our guy, Drew Sample.
There you go.
Sample. He got 4 targets last week and a red zone target as well. I mean, they're hiding the props from us right now because they know they don't want us on the Drew Sample train. But I mean, if you're a blocking tight end, what's a great thing for you? The fact that you're always on the field, you can always just kind of leak out there for a play in the flat. And so, yeah, we've seen Joe Burrow take nothing tight ends and give them a monster spotlight on Thursday Night Football before. Why can't it be Drew Sample? His anytime is 6-1, guys. 6-1.
Well, yeah, and shop around because there's some 750s out there.
Really?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous for a tight end that's always on the field.
Yeah, and don't look now, but he will be on the first touchdown card.
Shout out to love that play, Terrell. That was also in my queue. Shout out to Easy in the chat. Give him a follow on X at Be Easy with 2 Y's in there. Be Easy Bets. If you remember, Easy almost hit the Reed interception prop exactly. It hit the guy right in his hand.
That counts as being on the.
I know everyone. Right? It's one of those where it was just like just nailed the handicap. So great work by Easy. He likes Roquan Smith. 10-1 has 1 interception this year so far, all over the field for the Ravens. Is their leading tackler by a lot. Pass rush could get the Burrow, lead to some underneath throws, and Roquan could be there. I like that angle. Roquan a little 10-1. Anytime interception. So shout out to Easy, good play there. While we're just doing our tight end celebration here, what about Charlie Kohler? 5-1 anytime touchdown. Mark Andrews he was totally out of it with the injury, slowly working his way back, but with Isaiah Likely seemingly going to be out for this game, they haven't adjusted the Charlie Kohler prices. His biggest game of the season was against the Bengals last time they played. Likely had 2 touchdowns. He's not going to be playing. Kohler had 1 touchdown. He is going to be playing. He had 3 for 64 and a touchdown. And who's going to replace the Likely 2 touchdowns? Even if you like Mark Andrews, there's going to be more room to eat for Charlie Kohler. And at 5-1 anytime touchdown. Again, I would, if you like the angle, which obviously I do, bet it now, because if Likely gets ruled out, which I think he probably will, then the price is definitely going to shift. They will adjust it. And even if Likely does somehow play, which is really unlikely, I've said likely a million times.
Was that the pun? Very unlikely.
Isaiah unlikely. I would be shocked if he does play. He's certainly not going to be playing a full snap count. So Charlie Kohler 5-1 in the anytime market. Kramer, what do you got?
Well, I mean, it's not often I would come to the party with a Lamar passing prop. So I threw it together and didn't want to get burned with Lamar having a sick game on the ground. Over 287.5 combo yards, pass and rush.
Okay.
For many reasons. A, he's playing like the best quarterback in the league. B, Derrick Henry stealing too many touchdowns for me to want to play a touchdown angle. And like you mentioned earlier, having Diontae Johnson out there is very interesting. And at some point we're going to see like a big explosive player too, that isn't Zay Flowers dancing around down the field. So 287.5 Lamar Jackson over. And this is going to be a shootout. That's the main, I mean, it's what's the total? 52.5. It's a big total.
It is weird. It's to see like Ravens Bengals shootout, because I'm always in my head, these AFC North battles are always like 19-17, but
especially on Thursday night.
Well, but for Joe Burrow, it's been crazy. I feel like has been involved in a lot of divisional crazy shootout games, not only with the Ravens. I feel like there were some with the Browns. I don't know, just off the top of my head, whatever he's involved, and maybe the Steelers are the team that uglies everything up. But I like that. I like the combo. I mean, I don't mind the Lamar over 51.5 rushing yards as its own thing, but I think you're giving yourself more paths to victory, Ryan, as they say in the election world.
Both of these teams are in the bottom right quadrant of that team tiers graphic from Baldwin that everyone shares.
Oh, okay.
Meaning great offense, bad defense.
Hey, Ryan, have you signed up with BetUS? If not, what are you waiting for? Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. America's favorite sportsbook, been in the business for 30 plus years. Easy deposit and withdrawal using cryptocurrency. I mean, if you're in the crypto field, at least as of tonight, while we're taping live, crypto is up really high. So maybe take a little piece off that and put it in the old BetUS account, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS, promo code SGPN. You get 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. They always run a bunch of cool, fun promos. So highly recommend them. They are America's favorite sportsbook, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS, promo code SGPN. Terrell, what is another prop you like for Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, I just went chalk. Give me Joe Burrow over passing yards.
Yeah.
Defense for the Ravens, especially that secondary, is just really bad. Like, it hasn't been good at all. And I think Jamar Chase is still going to have a really good day, but even if he doesn't, they have the options. Like I said, I talked about Chase Brown earlier. Gasecki, he's had 70 plus in the past 2 weeks, 100 plus last week. Like, I think they could still really, really target this bad Ravens secondary. So Trey White isn't playing in this game, and he's not helping them get better any sooner.
Yeah, good point there on the secondary. I will kind of pick up where you were left off there. I am going to play the Jamar Chase over 82.5 receiving yards. This is my in rhythm play. Again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial there. The last time they played, he was 10 for 193 and 2 touchdowns. 82.5 feels like a good number for Jamar Chase. I still think T. Higgins probably doesn't play. He's had a great career history against Baltimore, including or average basically 97.75. He had a 200-yard game against the Ravens. I think it was his rookie year, and the Ravens just aren't good against the receivers. There were plenty of opportunities for the Broncos. Didn't really fully maximize those. My buddy Bo Nix missed a couple open touchdown throws. Some definitely left some points and some yards on the board with some bad throws. I think Joey B is going to be locked in. So 82.5 feels pretty doable for Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I like Jamar Chase too. I didn't play any of his props. All right. I'm on a completion / attempts heater.
Yes.
Of course, we can all remember Anthony Richardson going way under his number a couple weeks ago. And then last week, Jalen Hurts under the attempts by a couple. Another sharp play by me. Again, this game is almost certainly going to be some sort of wonky shootout. And what have we seen in all of the shootouts with Mr. Joe Burrow? Well, tends to get over on the completions, also on the attempts. I went back and forth on this, ended up landing on the completions because of the pass funnel that is the Ravens defense. And so we're going to take over this time 23.5 pass completions for Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Again, the way the Ravens are playing defense, the way that the types of receivers that the Ravens have, guys are going to be getting open. There's going to be completions. And I think there's a better chance that you see a lot of completions versus some big plays. And so Joe Burrow picks this defense apart over 23.5 completions, just like he has the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no. And Terrell was on the Chase Brown over receiving yards. I think there's going to be a bunch of ones. Easy enough stuff for him to get down on. Speaking some props in the chat, Wax to Face wants to know,
great.
Ryan, do you guys you ever do any? It took me a second. Do you guys ever do first quarter props? Ryan, do you ever mess with some first quarter props? I don't, because the variance of who gets the kickoff to start, and so many times, like the Eagles have been horrible in the first quarter. Last week was the first time they got points in the first quarter. There's just a lot of variance starting with who gets the ball first. So I mean, there's obviously you could have 2 drives versus 1 drive that drastically changes the prop in my mind.
No,
right.
Generally I don't play it. I do 1 first half parlay every week.
Yeah.
And then, maybe I would play a first something is a something, but that's more of like reserved for Super Bowl or playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
if you're going full Degen,
#Degens only.
Instead of looking at a first quarter prop, I would just look at first drive props because your first drive. I mean, there are games it's uncommon, but where like the one team has or they don't get to finish their drive, right?
The
like
Giants and the
team starts with
Panthers
the ball. Yeah.
play each other this weekend. Punt in the first drive. Very, very likely.
Well,
for
and
both
shout out to your partner on the WNBA Gambling Pod, NBA Gambling Pod, Scott Reichel.
Yep.
If I know Scott, he likes to parlay in these ugly games, both teams to have a punt for their first drive, which is a fun way to do it. But I would, if you're looking for action early, I would go first drive versus first quarter because you get that same early sweat, but you at least kind of give yourself a guarantee that you're going to see the ball, right? Terrell, you play any first quarter stuff?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I leave that to my co-host. And when he tells me he has an edge in something, I'll play it. But nope, that's not for me. I will say, punt for some of these quote unquote good teams on the first drive is pretty juicy plus odds.
Oh yeah.
And so.
No, I like the first punt angle. But yeah, again, play it first drive, and I don't think they offer it, but like first to have a punt in the first quarter, I don't think you'd get some good price there. Zen in the chat wants to know, does Diontae Johnson have a chance to replace Zay Flowers as the number one?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. At least not this year. Like maybe down the line. Yeah, that's also a good
Zay's
point.
always going to get the long, deep down the field looks, but if you're telling me there's a point in time where they start giving all the short yardage work to Diontae Johnson, sure. Like that's what his role typically is.
Yeah. I mean, to Terrell's point, is there a world where Diontae Johnson's catch prop is higher than Zay Flowers on a week-to-week basis in the future? Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
One guy was a third round pick. One guy was a first round pick.
It's true.
Here's a trivia question for both of you. Terrell, go first. Who's taller?
Between Diontae Johnson and Zay Flowers?
Yes.
I feel like you're trying to trip me up. So I'm gonna say Zay Flowers.
They're both under 6 feet tall.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I thought Diontae Johnson.
Sean?
I'm gonna take a just wild guess and say Zay Flowers is taller.
Zay Flowers is 5'9". Deontay Johnson 5'10".
Okay.
I was saying, they're the same receiver. I don't think they infringe on Rashad Bateman's stuff.
Rashad Bateman, yeah.
I think this is going to be. They just want to run an offense where they can read option and have two guys be open on every play for Lamar, and then the freestyle game.
Yeah.
Wait till they find out Diontae Johnson also has a bad problem with drops, so they didn't get any better for anything they wanted to do. All three receivers dropped the football.
I will say it was when they picked him up. It was like, yeah, he is kind of. He's like Zay Flowers with less athleticism. Yeah.
Let's talk first tutty market. I'll kick things off. I liked him for the anytime. Obviously, I'm going to take him for the first touchdown. Going to be Charlie Kohler, 30-1. Terrell already talked about him in the anytime. I also agree. Drew Sample, 34-1. And then run it back for Joe Burrow. Already got me paid Sunday Night Football. Why not Thursday night? Or no, was it? Yeah, it was Sunday Night Football. Cashed 40-1 for me, first touchdown. Bringing it back for Joe Burrow, 34-1. All that being said, I wouldn't hate a big play on Derrick Henry first touchdown because it's probably going to be what it is. What are you doing, Kramer?
Every fucking time, it's the same thing. I was pulling up the Drew Sample. What was the price you said you got for Drew Sample?
34-1.
Okay, so yeah, I have 35-1. But again, I'm going to alert the good people who have
alert
bet 365. Just like when I told you that K-Dot and Anytime last weekend was 333 over there. Their Drew Sample's first touchdown price at bet 365 is 50-1. So if you have access to that, you are obliged. I mean, for all of us that don't have access, you must
do it for us.
Grab that price.
So what are you doing for first touchdown?
So yeah, I mean, Kohler and Sample are obvious. I'm also putting. I'm playing Gesicki. There seems to be no reason for me to not play Gesicki. I don't hate your Burrow angle, but Gesicki 18-1, and then for the other side, I just gonna keep going to it. I made the whole thing based on if Lamar is 8-1 or better, you just take Lamar at 8-1 or better. So I'm going to stubbornly do it one more time. Give me Lamar Jackson. You can get a 10-1 out there.
Oh, I saw 11-1 earlier.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's gone. Maybe you bet it up.
Yep.
Oh no, you're right. FanDuel right now, 11-1.
Yeah.
So, and so, yeah, Kohler and Lamar, Lamar's going to get one of these. And come on, this isn't like an MVP battle right here. I keep thinking this is like those two assholes are definitely trying to beat each other. Look good.
Joe Burrow's trying to look good. He already looks good.
That's what I mean. But in terms
got
of
the dyed blonde hair.
Yeah. So I tend to think they're both going to try to show out in this one.
Very
Terrell, what do you got? Yeah. What do you got? First touchdown. Yeah. Very much the boy band look for our boy, Joey B.
So I think we're all in agreement there. Sample and Kolar, like that. That's pretty standard. I went with another Bengals tight end. Tanner Hudson got 2 red zone targets last week. Tanner Hudson is also 70-1 for first touchdown.
Yeah, that's a great play.
He was only on the field for 20 snaps, and he somehow got 2 red zone targets last week.
I'm adding Tanner Hudson.
I'm going to also alert.
Game recognizes game.
Bet 365 is 80-1.
What? All right.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, adding that one.
They can't take it all away for us.
I went chalk with Lamar. I had to. Like at this point, Derrick Henry has gotten so expensive that he made Lamar Jackson a value.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Worth pointing out, Ricard is also a massive price out there, 85-1 if you want to play a fullback.
I don't think have they thrown to him yet?
No, but he's in there.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, it just takes one.
Just takes one, Ryan.
Just takes one.
All right. We'll talk ladders. And then before we do that, shout out to Underdog, underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Get you a sweet 50% deposit match up to $1,000. And again, the boosts are really what gets you going here on the Underdog.
We've been getting boosted a lot.
Yeah, I'm seeing in my lobby, Ryan, or whatever, the promo section, you got a 50% profit boost on my NHL entry. I'll have to hit the Hockey Gambling Podcast guys for some advice. A gimme pick, change any NBA pick to 0. And these are decent max. The NHL one is $2,000, which I love some Degen only action. I don't know if I could do 2K on a Underdog a boost here, but they're super fun.
Not getting limited, Sean. That's good.
And the gimme pick for the NBA looks pretty fun as well. They keep hooking you up. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Ryan, what do you like for a ladder for this week?
All right, so my first idea for a ladder was to play a Joe Burrow interception ladder.
Oh, okay.
The bottom rung is a little steep. But there are going to be a lot of passes in this game. You can get 2 interceptions for Joe Burrow at plus 450.
Okay.
The bottom rung is minus 135. I have additional ladder conversation, but I'll let you guys go. I don't want to potentially steal a ladder. So we'll Joe Burrow interception ladder.
All right. For me,
kind of see where I'm going with this game.
Yeah. I'm going to go, I started with his over. I think he could hit this ladder. Diontae Johnson, 25 plus is
juicy,
is 110. 40. Diontae Johnson to get 40 receiving yards. Come on, what are we doing here? Plus 295. 50 receiving yards, 5-1. 69-1. They traded for this guy for a reason. You're not going to give him a little shine.
I might have. I mean, yeah. I figured someone.
And I'm sure you can find some higher up ones, but that's a nice little 9-1 to get things started. Terrell, what about you? Any ladders you're looking at?
Yeah. So I was considering a ladder, then I was considering a little step stool, but it's a strong step stool, a very, very strong step stool. In Joe Burrow passing touchdowns, very sturdy.
Okay.
3 passing touchdowns plus 225, 4 plus 485, plus 850. Very, very tempted there, but I decided to make it an actual ladder. Yossi Voss, I'm going with Andre Yossi Voss. I mean, it's no T Higgins. He could get a deep ball down the field, and this covers a bunch of this. And also, again, that Ravens secondary is pretty bad, like really, really bad. If they just commit all the way to stopping Jamar Chase, I think Yossi Voss has a good game. So 25 plus, you can get it plus 125. If he gets to 40 plus 330, 56-1 and 60. I mean, we only need 60 yards and we get 10-1 for just 60 yards.
Oh my God!
I mean, this does feel like the game and the game flow that could see some crazy ladders being built. And shout out to the chat, including Justin Wood, Bengals fan, pointing out Jermaine Burton, a great slots receiver.
Oh, there we go.
And he goes, he should be on this episode. And this actually brings us to this week's edition of Real Men of Degen.
Nice
I get to be here for this.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degen.
Real man of Degens.
We salute you.
Jermaine Burton. That's right. A picture of the NFL rookie at a casino after he was benched for missing a walkthrough. Ryan, he's not playing the NFL slot machine.
No, he's
you
not.
are a plus EV slot player. Maybe you can give Jermaine some advice sitting by himself.
I was actually, I mean, I was going to make the inverse of the slot joke. Maybe he shouldn't be in the slot.
Yeah, avoid the slot at all costs.
Slot player.
And then he shows up to the game in pajamas. Oh man, God bless you, Jermaine Burton. God bless you.
If you didn't see the video, there's also a time in the game where he's sitting in Joe Burrow's seat on the bench. Joe Burrow goes to sit down, sees him there, turns around, walks away. Someone like walks up to him, tells him to get up. He gets up and like awkwardly says something to Joe Burrow. Yeah,
that's a kind of Joe Burrow's like one of those guys where he's like got a guy to take care of that. Tell this motherfucker to get out of my seat. I don't want to talk to him.
Big Dom.
He's like a go between. I'm not talking to Jermaine Burton because he's a bitch, but like, what's his problem? You show up for the walkthrough.
He must suck. He must suck.
These people that self.
Where do you go to college? Florida
guy.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
Some knuckleheads.
Sean, what was the top of your Diontae Johnson line?
9-1, 60 yards.
Okay.
I don't know if you can find a better price, but
no, I was going to tell you if you wanted two things. One, you can get 7+ catches is 14-1.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Well, I don't know. Like the more I thought about it,
times.
Yeah,
that was kind of what I was thinking, Terrell. I kind of like
game. I think it's going to be a little. I mean, they're going to run the ball for sure, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout. The Bengals offense is too good for this. Than against that, you were just playing the Ravens pass defense sucks card heavy with Bo Nix. You have to kind of run it back. I just think there's going to be
I agree.
High volume game in terms of passing in this one. I think.
Yeah,
both teams suck against them.
No, I like Diontae. I like the receptions and the passing yards. I'm sticking with the passing yards, but I might dabble with some receptions here as well. Let's talk Underdog entry. Obviously, promo code SGPN gave out a bunch of props we liked, but obviously we're talking fantasy projections here. But some of this applies.
We didn't
Terrell,
talk any of that.
No. Now we switch to the fantasy projections portion of the show. Terrell, what is a higher lower you like for the Thursday night game?
I mean, it's a little juicy. We could bump it up and probably get some X value on it for sure. But Joe Burrow's throwing passing touchdowns. Like that's happening. It's just how many is he going to throw? But
I'm with you, Kramer. What do we want to do?
If you have a boost, that certainly feels like something. I mean, I was on the over completions. Okay. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities in there. I can pretty much play. I could play Joe Burrow on.
So what? I mean, honestly,
I like the passing. I'm fine
the
with
higher passing touchdowns is a little soft. It's 0.82x, whereas 24.5 completions is like the normal multiplier. What do we do here? Do we stick with the passing touchdowns, or do we go crazy and kick it up to 2.5 passing touchdowns?
I mean, 29
running in.
29.5 completions is 3x.
Ooh. All right, Kramer, do we do 29.5 completions?
Whoa.
Let's see. What did he do last game?
29.5.
Yeah.
29.5
is 3x spicy.
So it's noticeably more than he did have 30 against Baltimore last time, but that was overtime and he threw for 392 and 5 touchdowns. So I feel like we just go if we're doing it
regular
all regular completions or
Yeah, I don't think we have to juice it up.
All right. Higher 24.5 completions.
Great point.
I do like, let's see. Do we Charlie Kohler? No, they don't have anything for him.
You go right to the cute stuff.
No, let's just go Diontae Johnson. 20.5 receiving yards higher. Keep it simple. Very low, very reasonable.
Should we have a third leg?
Yeah, I think a third leg is warranted.
Let's throw it back at Terrell since we stole his Joe Burrow.
That's true. What's one more?
Well, they have the nerve to offer Jermaine Burton projections here. That's crazy. How can you project the man?
And it's only higher too. Like, give me the opportunity to take a lower on him.
They're not letting you fade Jermaine Burton. Well, and then if he doesn't play, the shit gets voided. That's not fun.
Yeah.
What do we? What's another one we like? So we have one Bengal, one Raven. We can do.
I said we go with Chase Brown, higher 24.5 receiving.
Oh,
I think that he's going to get plenty of work in that passing game.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like that as well. And rhythm, that's on their list.
Receiving yards, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, let's fire.
Firing away.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Higher 24.5. Chase Brown, Deontay Johnson higher 20.5, and Joe Burrow higher 24.5 completions. Nice little. Yeah, I don't have any boosts left. They're for other sports. But
it's like when you're playing that. What was it? Ivan Stewart's off-road racing, and you ran out of the turbo boost. You're fucked.
All right. Hey,
Terrell's too young for that, right?
Terrell, good.
Do you have a Degen's only prop?
Oh yeah. Do I have a Degen's only?
Do you have any? Do you have anything crazy? Oh, I stumped you.
No, I'm just gonna have to go back to the Charlie Kohler 2 touchdowns.
Is that the right tight end to select?
What's up?
Is that the right 2 touchdown selection?
In my mind, yeah, because if you're going Degen on something like this, Charlie Kohler 2 touchdowns. I'm pulling the price up now. It's 65-1. Isaiah Likely's also 65-1. Again, I don't think he's playing. So give me the Kohler 2 touchdowns. They had 3 touchdowns as a tight end group last time they played. So him to get 2 touchdowns at 65-1 feels pretty reasonable. How about you? You got any Degen stuff?
The chat is asking about my double ladder. The double ladder was the Deontay Johnson angle, like just the number being
the reception.
Well, we kind of talked about it. Receptions or yards. Yards ladder pays out a little bit nicer, it seems. Yeah. So I think again, there's going to be a lot of there is 100% going to be a lot of action in this game, and so you can continue to fire the 2 touchdown parlays because that it just seems like the best way to do it. The Jameis parlay was fun from a couple weeks ago, but I mean, that was annoying. I got that right as fuck and I still got it wrong. So we're going back to a very simple system. Mike Gesicki, 2 touchdowns, 20-1.
Like it. I mean, he just had 2 touchdowns last week. That
I know. It feels silly. If you want to make it spicier,
yeah,
I'll join forces with you.
Oh wow!
And let's see here.
I didn't want to say the 21 was kind of weak, but it was kind of weak.
Well, sometimes wins are wins. All right, so we put those 2 together. You're looking at a cool 950-1.
Oh my god!
Let's get it.
Which we should probably do that. Sean. You want to phone the accountant?
Yeah, we'll release the funds. Terrell, you got
a couple pizzas on that.
You got any?
We shouldn't talk about pizza on election day.
Yeah,
it's too hot.
You got any?
It's too hot.
You got any Degen only props for the audience?
Yeah, I am. I was kind of torn. I went with the 2 touchdown angle as well, and part of me said either Joe Burrow balls in this game or Joe Burrow absolutely completely sucks and costs them the game. Which would be funnier? I'm not certain.
Oh.
Probably him sucking. That's probably funny because but I'm not going to do it. This Ravens defense is pretty bad. Give me Joe Burrow 2 touchdowns, 55-1.
Ooh, little Joey B on the ground.
I honestly
getting it done.
I honestly thought that's what Sean was going to do.
It was close because I do like him for first touchdown. and he already got me one first touchdown, so I get it. But the Kohler angle is, I like that. The Kohler angle is fun.
Ravens defense at 50-1 for 2 touchdowns is calling to me.
Oh,
Oh my God.
like it's a complete meltdown for
complete meltdown.
Bengals.
Complete meltdown.
So if you did want to play Joe Burrow, so Burrow 300 yards, Burrow 3 touchdowns, Burrow 2 interceptions.
Ooh.
Yeah. 18-1.
Wow.
Oh my God.
If you're into that kind of thing. And I guess you could then put the result of the game that you like. Is that a Burrow win or a Burrow loss?
Well, maybe even,
the money line with that actually would.
Maybe
be
if you want to get crazy, the Kohler 2 touchdowns with the Bengals money line. Now we're talking. Put that in the machine, Ryan. See what I got.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. I will say also, FanDuel now offering 5 touchdown. You can bet Derrick Henry to score 5 touchdowns.
What is it like? 2 to 1?
150-1. Derrick Henry to score 4 touchdowns is 30-1. That's the most absurd thing I've ever seen. All right, Charlie Kohler, 2 touchdowns. Oh man, the price is definitely better at FanDuel, and just money line for the Bengals. That pays 216-1.
Woo!
Oh my God.
Is that what you're into?
All right, that's pretty spicy. Sounds pretty fun. Terrell, thank you for joining us on the show. Make sure to check out Terrell NBA Gambling Podcasts.
Always
hitting it hot and heavy, doing a bunch of other shows on our network and all over the place. You can follow him on X at @ReallyRel_. Make sure you get that one there. Appreciate you hopping on. Toss us 5 stars on Spotify. Only takes 5 seconds. Helps us climb the charts. Appreciate that. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Wait, so Sean, you're not laying the points with the Ravens?
Maybe. Kramer, let it ride.